Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame right now. The ES is trading just 14.25 points of range, 34% of average right now. But could we see additional selling pressure ahead? The previous session here, we had a heavy 9 o'clock hour of selling pressure, 9 a.m. Central Time, and that spilled over pretty much into the afternoon as price was not able to really recover from the morning lows, and that gave us kind of a bearish close here, a lower value relationship heading into Tuesday's trade, and any pullback this morning could be seen as a selling opportunity. Any pullback into, say, 60.75 to about 60.80 could be sold for an inverted check mark move down. We could be looking at 60 points of range here to the downside, or perhaps even more, if this is going to be a day one kind of sell-off day. Not quite the heaviest sell-off day, but it could be a day one that leads to a heavier selling session. For example, this day could be compared to either one of these days back here ahead of a broader sell-off the next session. So again, if price pulls back to about 60.75 to 60.80 this morning, there could be some selling pressure that leads to a bit more weakness up ahead. The market right now, again, looking a bit more jittery than it had over the past couple of weeks. And even if we did see a pullback, though, even if we do see one more day of selling pressure, 2 days of selling pressure, even a little bit more, that could be a buying opportunity for an end-of-year run up ahead. This market still remains very bullish overall. We could be at a cycle high, and any pullback could offer a relief rally heading into the end of the year. So regardless of even if we have some selling pressure here, it still could be bullish down the road for this market. If we take a look here at the NQ, the NQ also showing selling pressure in the previous session, kind of a failed high and a drop, almost an outside day down. Again, another 9 o'clock hour of selling pressure yesterday, and just couldn't get off the mat, closing near the lows of the session. And this one right here could see additional selling pressure ahead. We're looking at somewhere between 550 and 575 as a zone here that could offer kind of an opportunity for bears to defend into that morning strength for an inverted check mark move down up ahead. That could lead to some selling pressure that brings us back into the 21,200 zone down below to retest the FOMC key level below. Maybe not all in one day, but it certainly could pick up some steam to the downside if it really wanted to. As of right now, we're kind of stuck in this 4-day compression, and really bears need below 21,400 in order to really start opening up the downside. So if there's a break through that level, that's going to open up some of the downside, and perhaps there's a retest of the FOMC key level from November 7th. But right now, again, this market remains bullish overall, but we could be at a cycle high within this channeling behavior. Any pullback could present an opportunity to buy it for an end-of-year run. If we take a look here at crude oil, crude had a very bullish bounce back day in the previous session. That's exactly what we were looking for. Didn't quite finish strong, but still finished strong enough to suggest a little bit more upside ahead. The bounces here recently off of the 67 level seem to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller lately, so we could be looking at a relatively quiet bounce that could take us perhaps as high as $70 here over the next couple of days, but that could be met with another round of selling pressure. Do we get one more drop here into the middle of December before we start perhaps an end-of-year rally? A rally that could take us into March of next year. So right now, early weakness has been defended at the moment, and that could lead to a little bit more strength towards 69, maybe a bit higher here over the course of the next couple of days. But still trending mostly sideways to down, and after this bounce, we could still see some selling pressure into this market. We take a look here at gold futures. Gold right now up 0.4%. Testing prices beyond 2,700 this morning. The early idea on this one was any broader market weakness could be bullish for gold. Any pullback as deep as 2675 to 2680 could be a buying opportunity for 30 to 35 points of strength up ahead. Right now we're at about 22 points of range. It's been averaging about 33 on a 5 and 10 day split. So there could still be some upside ahead. Got to get through 2700, 2703. That is the FOMC key level from November 7th. Can it push through that and open up some more upside? Right here, that's a narrow 8-day range. The previous session with a breakout day didn't quite hold on to the breakout gains as good as we would have liked, but still held on decent enough to suggest more upside ahead, and that could take us at the very least to a return back to the previous month's high, which is 2772 over the course of the next week of trading. All right, looking at the YM down about 0.25% right now, 165 points of range. That is 46% of ADR, and this one is working its way down. You can see this narrow range compression right here, the previous session here with a breakdown, a squat bar day, and we're seeing additional selling pressure here. Mentioned in our trading room that any pullback here could look for some selling opportunities into the lower FOMC key level below. That's around 44,000. 44,900 is going to be the FOMC key level, so we could be looking at more weakness up ahead out of the Dow. This one has led lower, and this one has also shown a pattern of strong highs for most of these days here. Intraday strong highs, and now we have ourselves a 4-day downtrend that has developed. Again, while this downtrend could lead to a bit more selling pressure, any pullback could provide a buying opportunity for an end of year run to the upside. So right now still looking for weakness here. Could be looking between 400 and 500 points of selling pressure up ahead as this market continues to await CPI data Wednesday and PPI data on Thursday. Looking at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin pulled back in the previous session, still bullish overall, but did experience kind of a modest flash crash type event late in the day yesterday, and that was a flash crash type event that really hit Ethereum the most, but also hit many other crypto as well. So a ton of crypto, that mini flash crash kind of showed up on the charts. But after that flash crash, we did see a little bit of a bounce. We're holding those gains still an uptrend overall. And right now we're kind of in the sideways to up phase of this trend, and we could still be looking at more upside into the end of the year with additional targets that could take us as high as the 113,745s and even 120 even down the road. So still looking quite bullish here. In order for this thing to really fail, you've got to drop back below 90K in order for this thing to start seeing actual failure. We could drop back as deep as 90K and still be a buying opportunity to the upside. I've mentioned before, if we were kind of quote-unquote fortunate enough to get 80,000 to a target of 120 down the road would be your next 50% opportunity in Bitcoin. So any pullback could be welcomed for a longer-term bump to the upside. Additionally here, ETH, you can see how heavy that day down was yesterday, a big high range day. That was a 556 point range day, big time day. We haven't seen a whole lot of 500 point days lately. There's only been a few this year, and you can kind of see them sticking off on the chart. That was a flash crash day there, and that day was 580 points without the gap. You had this day right here, which was another 500 point day barely. So a lot of these days here were 500 point days in the past, but it's been a while since we've seen a recent one. That was one there, and it occurred off of major 4,000 resistance as well. That flash crash again happened late in the day when prices were about 3750, and then it dropped as low as 3,500 in a flash. Recovered some of that, and now we're holding. So this market right now still trending up as well. We could stand to see a little bit more pullback, as I've mentioned before, just yesterday. that any pullback to 3,400 could provide a bounce opportunity. We got to 34.98 yesterday on that flash move, still trending up, but again, some jitters at the 4,000 level, which has been a heavy area of resistance for this market throughout the year. Got to push through that to open up the 4,600 level up above. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.